Good morning, Richard Fillmore here, and welcome to another Richard's Rock Rambles live albums. So today we're going to have a look at a band who are around in the early 70s, started in the early 70s, late 60s, early 70s, and unfortunately not going anymore. Made a number of great albums, and the live album we're going to talk about today is live at the Fillmore East. So I'm talking about the Allman Brothers, great southern rock. They were also known as a great jam band. I mean, some of their concerts would go on for 3 hours plus. Amazing musicians, two guitarists, keyboardist, vocalist, drummer. There was also a guy on percussion and some great lead work. So we're going to have a look at that album today, who was part of the band. And so let's jump right into it. So this was live, as I said, at the Fillmore East. That was Bill Graham. Bill Graham had the Fillmore East and the Fillmore West, those two iconic venues in the 70s. And it was recorded over 3 nights at the New York City venue, the Fillmore East, run, as I said, by Bill Graham in March 1971. So 3 nights, and they were pretty much at the top of their game. They hadn't been going that long, but these guys were very tight. A lot of jazzy fills in their music, great musos. And then it was released on July the 6th, 1971. So a few months from the recording to the release date. And this would be their third album and the one after their second album, Idlewild South. Got to get that right. There have been a number of different releases of this album. There's a 2014 Super Deluxe edition, which has got about 6 CDs. So that consists of 6 CDs and was released in July of 2014. And it contains the 4 complete concerts and the early and the late shows. So you get the complete 3 days, whereas in the official release originally it was just, taken from the different days. And there's also a Blu-ray edition which comes with a multi-channel mix, which is really cool. I mean, the sound must be amazing. I mean, if you consider that this was made back in 71, the sound is pretty good on the original release, but I would imagine that the Blu-ray is really good. If you want to have a look at the review of the 6-disc version, there's another great channel right here on YouTube by Pete Pardo. It's called The Sea of Tranquility. That's the channel, and in there he reviews the live album 6-disc set. Really great. I need to get my grubby hands on that. So let's have a look at the album cover. There we go. That's the guys over there. Right in the center there is the head of the Allman Brothers, Greg Allman. And that gentleman over there is the late Duane Allman. And there you have Dickie Betts. I think Dickie Betts is there in the front. And that's Butch Trucks at the back. I think Butch Trucks is over there. So let's talk about who's in the band. Oh yes, what I thought was really cool, a lot of the guys in music and rock music, when you go out on tour, or your road crew, and a lot of them get overlooked and they do a lot of hard work. So what they did was on the inside, they gave a shot of some of the guys in the crew, which I thought was really cool. Because they play a pretty big part when you're touring. Right, so in the band you have Duane Allman on lead and slide guitars, one of the best slide guitarists ever. Amazing tone to his guitar, such a shame when he passed away. He had so much more to offer, I think. Then we had his brother, Greg Allman, on organ, piano, and vocals. So he's the main vocalist. Great voice. Really sort of not a gravelly voice, but quite a deep voice. He could also do a few high-pitched things as well. Dickie Betts on lead guitar. So that's the twin guitar thing going there. Barry Oakley on bass guitar. Jan Johanni Johansson on drums, congas, and timbales, so he was the percussionist. And Butch Trucks on drums and timpani, so he was the drummer. I'm afraid I don't have a very good shot of the inside. I don't know how much you can see there. There's the guys live there. A couple of shots of the other guys. That's Greg Allman at the bottom there. And I think that's Duane. Yeah. So this is a pretty basic CD release. It's not a deluxe edition by any means. So produced with Bill Graham and Capricorn released July 1971. So what are the tracks on here? That standout track kicks it all off, which was a staple of the Allman Brothers and many bands around at the time. Statesboro Blues, Will McTell track, and that's 4 minutes and 17, one of the shorter tracks on the album. Done Somebody Wrong is next, and then another standard, Stormy Monday, that's been done from everybody from Jethro Tull through to all the great blues artists. My cat has just joined us. Charlie, I don't know if he's going to come on camera. He's probably looking for food. You Don't Love Me is the next track. Hot Lanta. All of these tracks have got some great interplay on the guitar between Dickie Betts and the great slide work from Dwayne, as I mentioned, and that great Hammond B3 organ work from the other Greg Allman. Couldn't think of his name. Need more coffee. Then we have a really long track, In Memory of Elizabeth Reed, and that's 13 minutes and 4 seconds. But that's not the longest. My favorite track of the Allman Brothers comes next, Whipping Post, and that's a Greg Allman track, and that goes on for 23 minutes. Yeah, in those days, the guys used to stretch out. Everybody has a turn. The keyboardist, 2 guitarists have a turn. Just a great jam band. You know, they really took it off into the... And when you listen to that track, all their long tracks, although they're long, your attention doesn't waver. They still grab you, and it's interesting, and it's not boring. You know, it's that's what I love about this band. Very different to other Southern rock bands like Leonard Skinner. They were more of a shorter tracks, more of a sort of a boogie band. Charlie Daniels band, you know, very different. Allman Brothers had a sound all of their own. Excuse me. So those are the tracks. And yeah, I would imagine that on the 6-disc set, you'll get a lot more different versions of those tracks. Some, you know, really long. And as I said, I will get hold of that. So they would go on to do a few more albums. But the really sad thing about this live recording is shortly after this was released, they lost both Dwayne Allman and they lost the bassist, Berry Oakley. And they both died in exactly the same way. Motorbike accidents. I think Dwayne hit a truck going around a corner. And yeah, really sad. I mean, they were both amazing musicians. And their sons are now in the Allman Betts band, the current band. So you've got a sort of a continuation of the Allman Brothers, because as I said, the Allman Brothers as a band don't exist anymore. They also included at one time Warren Haynes from Government Mule and Alan Woody also from Government Mule. So there we go. If you haven't got this, I urge you to get it. It's one of the best live albums ever. I mean, there've been some greats in the 70s, but this is, in that particular genre, jam band stroke Southern rock, this is my number one live. Along with another one which we'll come to at a later stage, another Southern rock band, but I'll get to that at another stage. Next week's is going to be a different vibe, a different sound. We're going to talk about the great live album from 1973 by those English guys, Uriah Heep, band still going today. And yeah, that was it was just called Uriah Heep Live, and showcased how good they sounded in the early 70s, when they were pretty much at their peak, I think. Have a good week there, guys. Take it easy, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.